Hello students, once again welcome to Bholanath Academy. In this video students, we are going to see the nomenclature of amines. So students, if you want to name the amines, there is two methods students. First one is called as common name and second is IUPAC name. So if you want to name the amines students, say for example, when one of the hydrogen of ammonia is replaced by alkyl group, this is primary amines. If one of the hydrogen of ammonia, if I am going to replace with aryl group, so in both in common as well as IUPAC name, how you are going to name the amines, very important. So this is students, since here the alkyl is attached to ammonia, so we call as alkyl amine. Since here students aryl group is attached to the nitrogen of this ammonia, we call as aryl amine. Now students, in IUPAC system students, how you are going to name same amines. So here students, this is general formula RNH2. Here students, we are going to see the longest chain of hydrocarbons. So here R is nothing but alkane, so we call as alkena amine. This is the alkane students. So E of this alkane students, we are going to replace with amines, so we call as alkena amines. Similarly students, in here students, suppose benzene is attached to the nitrogen of this amine, we call as benzenamine. So which type of aryl students? It is benzene, so we call as benzena. So how it is, it has been derived students. So benzene, so E of this benzene, now we are going to replace with amine, so we call as benzenamine. So this is the way students we are going to name the amines in common name and IUPAC. Now students, some example that we are going to see here. Primary amines, there is three types of amines students: primary, secondary and tertiary. So first we are going to see the name of primary amines. So how you are going to name primary amines students? So here students, first example in primary amine, so when one of the hydrogen, so this is ammonia students, NH3 is ammonia, nitrogen is having 3 valency students. If one of the valency, now you are going to replace with methyl group CS3 and other is by hydrogen. Okay students, so this is called as primary and first degree amines. Okay students, how you are going to name these first degree amines students? So we will say which type of alkyl is attached to the nitrogen of this ammonia. We will say this here students, CS3 is nothing but this is methyl, so we will in common system we call as methyl amine. So name of this amine is methylamine. Now what will be the IUPAC name of this compound students? So methylamine is also called as, since it is coming from methane, so it is nothing but methenamine. So this way students, you can say this molecule name will be methylamine or you can say methenamine. Second molecule of amines, so here students, nitrogen, if along with nitrogen it is 2 hydrogen, so this is first degree amines. Now what happens students, this nitrogen when it is attached to the CH2 and this is CS3, so in common name students, how which alkyl is attached here students? So this is normal propyl, this is nothing but normal propyl is attached to nitrogen of this ammonia, so this is first degree nitrogen students. So name of this compound will be N-propyl. So this is the propyl students, but it is normal propyl, we call as N-propyl amine. Okay students, now what will be the IUPAC name students? So here is which hydrocarbon students? It is propane. So students, this is called as, you have to start numbering from this side, 1 2 3. See, this is ammonia is attached to first degree propyl carbon of this propyl, we call as propane 1 amine. So N-propyl amine is nothing but propane 1 amine. Okay students, why it is 1 amine students? Because you have to give the longest chain of these hydrocarbons. So this hydrocarbon will be the list, it will carry list number to which amine group is attached. So this is first carbon, second carbon, third carbon, so we will name propane 1 amine. What happens students, there is a 3 carbon and here the ammonia is attached to this, NH2 is attached to like this, fill the valency with hydrogen what will be the common name students? In common name students, when you see which type of propyl students, so this is nothing but isopropyl. Which type of alkyl? First you have to see which type of alkyl it is. So here students, ammonia is attached to this carbon, and here it is having same group, methyl, and this is also methyl. Okay students, so we call as isopropyl. Which type of alkyl? So this is isopropyl. Okay students, having same group, so we call as, well, if there is a similar group, that type of propane is called isopropyl. That type of alkyl is called as isopropyl. So this is isopropyl, and this is what? Amine. Isopropyl amine. What will be the IUPAC name students? For that students, you have to start the numbering. You can give the numbering 1, 2, 3. So from this also, if you are going to name, this is 2. At carbon number 2 students, this amine is attached, this ammonia is attached. So it is called as propane 2 amine. So propane 2 amine is nothing but isopropyl amine students. So in sometimes they in examination match the column, they may ask, so you should know isopropyl is nothing but propane 2 amine. If it is N-propyl amine, that is propane 1 amine. So this is very important molecule students. What happens students? This is the, here when there is a 2 amine group is attached to this. Now fill the valency with hydrogen. So how you are going to name this molecule? Now here, since it is what? 2 amines are present in this molecules, so we will call as, first you have to understand which type of alkyl. Here it is nothing but ethylene, so we will call as ethylene diamine. But there is 2 amines are there students, we call as ethylene diamine. This is also students primary amines only. Now what will be the IUPAC name students? You have to start the numbering 1 and 2. This way also you can give the number. So in IUPAC system students, carbon number 1 is also containing amine, and carbon number 2 is also having NH2 group. So we call as ethane 1,2 diol. This is the which type of hydrocarbons? Ethane students. This is ethane. Now at carbon number 1 you have 1 amine, and carbon number 2 also you have 1 amine. So 1 and 2 both are having same amine, so we call as 1,2 diamine. The name of this molecule will be ethane 1,2 diamine is nothing but ethylene diamine. So in examination sometimes they may ask, match the column also. Ethylene diamine is corresponds to ethane 1,2 diamine. Ethylene diamine is equals to ethane 1,2 diamine. If there is a unsaturation is present in alkyl, and here the ammonia is attached, so you have to fill the valency with hydrogen. CH2, here 1 hydrogen, here will be 2 hydrogen. So what will be the common name students? First you have to understand which type of alkyl students. So this is called as, we call as allele. It is nothing but in common name we call as allele. If there is a 3 carbon and there is unsaturation is present, we call as allele, or we can also say we call as propene. So students, in common name we call as, since it is containing 3 carbon, propyl. So students, since it is containing 3 carbon which is having unsaturation, we call as allele, so it is called as allele amine. What will be the IUPAC name students? You have to start the numbering where the amine is attached. So this carbon will be first, this is second, and this is what? Third. So first you have to see which type of hydrocarbon students. So it is a prop 2ene. This is containing 3 carbon, so we call as prop. At carbon number 2 there is a double bond, we call as 2ene. And students, at carbon number 1 there is a amine group is attached, so we call as prop 2ene 1 amine. So this is the name of this molecule students. Allele amine is nothing but prop 2ene 1 amine. This is also students very important molecule. Benzene is there students. Now here it is attached to the nitrogen of this. Now what will be the common name students? Since it is a which type of alkyl, this is nothing but, here we call as phenyl. This is our we call as what? Phenyl. Which type of alkyl? So since it is a aromatic name, we call as phenyl amine. Or in common name also students, this is also called as aniline. Okay students, in IUPAC system students, so you have to see this is benzene, so it is also called as benzenamine. Or students, sometimes it is also called as aniline also. Aniline. Okay students, so here students, phenylamine is nothing but aniline, and that is equals to what? Benzenamine. So these are very important students. This is all about aniline. Aniline is also called as phenylamine. It is also called as benzenamine. Here students, you have Methylene. Now how many methylene group students? If you have 6 methylene group and it is attached to 2 ammonia. So what will be the common name students? The common name will be, since it is a 6, so we call as hexamethylene, and there is a 2 amines are there students, we call as diamine. Very important compound students. What will be the IUPAC name students? So it is the longest chain of hydrocarbon, that is hexane, so we call as, and 1 and 6 position you have 2 amines, so we call as hexane 1,6 diamine, which is nothing but hexamethylene diamine. Now here students, this is the benzene ring students. If this is containing methyl, and here it is NH2 is present students, what will be the common name students? The common name will be, at para position students, these are para positions, so we call as para toluene. This is toluene students, this is toluene. At para position there is ammonia group is there students, so we call as para toluene. What will be the IUPAC name students? For that students you have to start the numbering. You have to start the numbering from this ammonia. You have to give the first carbon, second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth. So at carbon number 4 students you have methyl group, so we call as 4-methyl, and it is aniline. 4-methyl aniline is nothing but para toluene. Very important primary amines. Para toluene is nothing but 4-methyl aniline. This is cyclic hexane students. Now if ammonia is attached here students, what happens students? What will be the common name? Since it is cyclohexyl, we call as cyclohexyl, and to whom amine is attached we call as cyclohexylamine. We call as cyclohexylamine. Okay students, what will be the IUPAC name students? Since it is cyclohexane students, hydrogen of cyclohexane is replaced by ammonia, so it is called as cyclohexanamine. So E of the cyclohexane now we are going to replace with amine, so we call as cyclohexanamine, or you can say cyclohexylamine. Both are same students. So this is the structure of the molecule. 10th molecule students, so this is the aryl group students, benzene. Now it is attached to CH2 and it is attached to primary amine, that is NH2. Now students, what will be the common name students? Since which type of alkyl students? This is nothing but benzyl, we call as benzyl. Which type of alkyl? Aryl, that is benzyl. Benzyl type of aryl is attached to ammonia, so we call as benzylamine. Now we will see IUPAC system students. In IUPAC system students, we have to see, this is the hydrocarbon students, so this is phenyl and this is what? Methyl, so we call as phenyl, and this is what? Methane, so we call it phenyl methanamine. Benzylamine is nothing but phenyl, one of the alkyl phenyl, and this is the methane. When one of the hydrogen of methane you are replaced by NH2, we call as methanamine. So understanding students, so we call as phenyl, and this is methanamine. Okay students, this is what? Methanamine. So phenyl methanamine. So here students again you have benzene. Okay students, now here students ammonia is attached to here, and opposite to this students there is a bromine. Now what will be the common name students? For that students you have to see, this is the aniline. Which type of molecule it is? It is what? Aniline. At opposite to this students, at para position you will find there is a bromine is attached to, we call as para bromo. Aniline. The name of this molecule in common system students, para bromo. And what in IUPAC system students, what will be the name? For that students you have to start the numbering. So you have to, this carbon will carry number 1, this is 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So at carbon number 4 students you have bromine group is attached, so we call as 4-bromo aniline. 4-bromo aniline is nothing but para-bromo aniline. Or you can also say students 4-bromo benzenamine. So what happens students when ammonia is attached to this carbon? So here students, when you see this is which type of alkyl? Alkyl containing 4 carbon. Fill the valency with hydrogen CH3, and here will be CH2 and CH2. So here students, which type of alkyl students? This is nothing but containing 4 carbon, we call as normal butyl. This is nothing but what? Normal butyl. They are not present in branching, they are in series, so we call as normal butyl. Containing ammonia group, students, we call as N-butyl amine. This is nothing but N-butyl amine. What will be the IUPAC name of this? N-butyl amine is also called in the IUPAC system, students. This, where the ammonia is attached, that carbon will be, you have to give 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this is nothing but butane. At carbon number 1, students, you have ammonia group, so it is called as butane 1 amine. So N-butyl amine is nothing but butane 1 amine. Suppose it is present like this, 4 carbon, this alkyl is present like this, and here the ammonia is attached to this carbon, NH2. Now fill the valency with hydrogen, CH3, CH2, CH and CH2. So students, if you want to name in common system, we have to find out first which type of alkyl it is. It is alkyl containing 4 carbon, but they are present in branching form, we call as isobutyl. Okay students, why it is iso, students? So if you are understanding here the methyl, here is also methyl. Okay students, so it is called as isobutyl and it is attached to amine, so isobutyl amine. Okay students, so understood why it is which type of alkyl? So isobutyl and it is attached to ammonia, so we call as isobutyl amine. What will be the IUPAC name, students? Isobutyl in IUPAC name also called as, so you have to start the numbering. This carbon will be 1 carbon, 2nd carbon and 3rd carbon. Okay students, at carbon number 1, students, you have ammonia. So what happens, students? So first you have to see isobutyl amine in IUPAC system. So at carbon number 2 you have methyl, so you will write 2-methyl propane. The longest chain is what? 3 carbon. So 2-methyl propane. In propane 1 carbon is containing ammonia group, so we call as propane 1 amine. So 2-methyl propane 1 amine is nothing but isobutyl amine. So students, here if ammonia is attached to 3rd degree carbon, okay students, this carbon, this type of alkyl, which type of alkyl? This is nothing but 3rd butyl, we call as what? 3rd butyl. So common name will be butyl. This is butyl, but which type of butyl? This is tertiary butyl, so we call as 3rd butyl amine. Now what will be the IUPAC name, students? Again students, you have to start numbering 1, 2, 3 like this. At carbon number 2 you have methyl group as well as amine group, so it is called as, first you have to see which type of longest chain is 3 carbon, so we call as propane. In propane also, students, at carbon number 2 you have methyl, so in IUPAC system, students, you will write 2-methyl propane. At carbon number 2 you have amine group, students, so it is called as 2 amine. So 2-methyl propane 2 amine is nothing but tertiary butyl amine. In examination sometime they may ask, match the column, students, so you should know 3rd butyl amine is nothing but 2-methyl propane 2 amine. So here it is, methyl is containing 1 carbon, here it is 3 carbon, so 4 carbon containing alkyl group, that is 2-methyl propane 2 amine. So we are going to see the secondary amines. So far we have seen primary amines, now we are going to see the secondary amines. Name of secondary amines. First, students, you should know, first example I am giving here, students, this is the nitrogen. 3 valencies are there, students. Out of 3 valency, 2 valency is occupied by alkyl group. Suppose here alkyl group is methyl, here is also methyl. So this nitrogen is having only 1 hydrogen. If you want to fill the valency, students, so here this nitrogen we call as 2nd degree nitrogen. So this type of amines is called as secondary amines, students. Now students, in common system, how you are going to name this amine? So this is nothing but which 2 alkyls are attached, that is methyl. So we call as dimethyl amine. So dimethyl amine will be coming in 2nd degree amines, that is secondary amines. Dimethyl amine is secondary amines. Now what will be IUPAC system, students? Again, students, this is the nitrogen, so you have to take the, suppose I am taking this is as a alkane. Okay students, so which type of alkane? That is nothing but methane. 1 of the hydrogen, now it is replaced by this, so we call as methanamine. Now students, here this alkyl is attached, this is methyl, suppose. Now this methyl is attached to this nitrogen of this amine, so we call as N-amine. Here the word we are going to use nitrogen. Now this methyl is attached to this nitrogen, secondary nitrogen atom, so we call as, we are going to put the suffix as a N-methyl, and this is methanamine. Methanamine, this is 1 carbon, methyl is also having 1 carbon, and this is a nitrogen, that is amine. So N-methyl, why N, students? It is directly attached to this methyl, is attached to nitrogen of these amines, that we call as N-methyl methanamine. Okay students, so dimethyl methylamine is nothing but N-methyl methenamine. Okay students, so two times methane word is coming students. So N-methyl, but it is alkyl type of methyl. So N-methyl methenamine. Here it is dimethyl. Di means two type carbon. So dimethylamine. Understanding students? So N-methyl methenamine is nothing but dimethylamine. Second example of secondary amines students. So secondary amines students, nitrogen always will have one hydrogen. So two valency of these secondary amines. This is secondary amines students. By observing this hydrogen we comes to know. Now other two valencies occupied by methyl. Here it is occupied by methyl group, and here it is occupied by ethyl, CH2 CH3. Okay students, so what will be the common name first students? So you have to see this is ethyl, and here it is what, methyl. In common name students, E is coming first, so we will write ethyl methyl amine, ethyl methyl amine. Okay students, so methyl amine is what, secondary amine. Ethyl methyl amine will be secondary amine. Now what will be the basic name students? So you have to choose the longest chain of hydrocarbon, that is longest chain of hydrocarbon will be ethanamine. Now here this methyl is attached to this nitrogen, so we call as N-methyl ethanamine. Okay students, so ethanamine will be your parent students, 2 carbon. Here it is only 1 carbon, so here we have to take this carbon as a substituent. So because since this methyl is attached to this nitrogen, so we will call as N stands for nitrogen. This methyl is attached to nitrogen of this amine, so we will call as N-methyl ethanamine. So N-methyl ethanamine is nothing but ethyl methyl amine. For examination sometimes they may ask match the column, so this way students you have to understand. So again students, you have secondary amines students. So this nitrogen will always have one hydrogen. Now one valency by methyl group, and other valency is by propyl. It is containing propyl. Okay students, CH3 CH2 CH2. Okay students, so what will be the common name students? So we have to see, this is nothing but, so here two type of alkyl you have students. This is normal propyl, which is attached to this nitrogen, and this is what, methyl, which is attached to this nitrogen. Okay students, so you have to see the alphabetical order. After M, P is coming, so we will name this methyl first. So this will be the methyl N-propyl amine. Okay, very simple name students. So M is coming first, so we will name this as a first. Okay students, this M is very important, and here this P is very important. So M is coming, so we will name this molecule as methyl N-propyl amine. Now what will be the in IUPAC system? You have to select the longest chain of the carbon. So 1 2 3. So this is the propane. In propane students, first carbon of this propane is attached to this nitrogen, so we call as propane 1 amine. Propane 1 amine will be the parent students. Now here methyl is attached to this nitrogen of this amine, so we call as N-methyl propane 1 amine. Very important students. So this is N students, mind well, this is nitrogen where the methyl is attached to nitrogen of this amine. So N-methyl propane 1 amine, which is nothing but methyl N-propyl amine. Understanding students? So methyl N-propyl amine is nothing but N-methyl propane 1 amine. Again students, we are talking about the secondary amines. That means this nitrogen having one hydrogen. Now out of these two valency students, okay students, this is secondary amines. Now one valency is by methyl, another valency now it is replaced by hydrocarbons like this. Okay students, so which type of alkyl students and which type of alkyl? This is methyl, very simple. And this is which type of alkyl students? This is containing 3 carbon, but they are present at carbon number 2. The secondary amine is attached, so we call as isopropyl. Which type of alkyl? Isopropyl. Okay students, again students, what will be the common name students? You have to see the alphabetical order, M and P. So here students, I is important, so we call as isopropyl methylamine. Isopropyl methylamine. This is the longest chain of hydrocarbons, propane. At carbon number 2 amine is attached, so we call as propane 2 amine. Now students, here the methyl is attached to this nitrogen, we call as N-methyl propane 2 amine will be the IUPAC name of this isopropyl methylamine. Fifth molecule of secondary amines. This is the secondary amines. Secondary amines, nitrogen will always having one hydrogen. Out of 2 valency students, if one valency, now it is replaced by ethyl group, CH2 CH3. Here it is also by ethyl group, CH2 CH3. Okay students, so what will be the common name? Here it is also ethyl, here 2 ethyl you have. So it is called as diethyl. What will be the IUPAC system name of this molecule, students? Here, students, you see both are ethyl and it is also ethyl. Okay, students, one will be in parent, students, in IUPAC system. So we call as ethenamine. So this, we suppose this is the ethenamine. So alkyl is attached. This alkyl is attached to nitrogen of secondary nitrogen of this amine. So we call as N-ethyl. N-ethyl ethenamine will be the name of this molecule. Diethyl amine is nothing but N-ethyl ethenamine. Suppose you have second degree. Okay, students, 2 valency of this nitrogen. It is suppose it is replaced by 2 alkyl group. Okay, students, this is 2 alkyl group. So what will be the common name, students? So this is phenyl. This is also phenyl. Okay, students. So we call as phenyl. 2 phenyls are there, students. We call as diphenyl. So this is the secondary amine solution, diphenylamine. What will be the IUPAC name, students? So here you have to select the one of the aryl. So we call as benzenamine. One of the hydrogen of benzene is replaced by ammonia, so we call as benzenamine. Now here benzyl group is attached to this, so we call as N. This is attached to nitrogen of this secondary amine, so we call as N-phenyl benzenamine. So this is diphenylamine is nothing but N-phenyl benzenamine, or students, this is benzenamine is also called as aniline, so it is also called as N-phenyl aniline. So there is a 3 name of these molecule, students. So diphenylamine is also called as in IUPAC system N-phenyl benzenamine, or you can say N-phenyl aniline. Is replaced by benzene. What will be the common name, students? Phenyl, and you have methyl. 2 alkyl are attached to this nitrogen of ammonia. So students, M is coming first, then P. Methyl phenyl amine is amine. IUPAC name of this molecule will be, since it is longest chain of carbon, will be this. So this is benzenamine. This methyl is attached to this nitrogen of ammonia, so we call as N-methyl benzenamine will be the name of this molecule, students, in IUPAC system. N-methyl benzenamine is nothing but methyl phenylamine. How you are going to name the tertiary amine? So nitrogen, students, all the hydrogen of ammonia is replaced by alkyl group, we call as tertiary amines. Now this nitrogen is not having any hydrogen. Okay, students, so all the hydrogen of this ammonia is replaced by, suppose here it is, students, first example I am taking methyl. It is also replaced by methyl. So all the hydrogen of ammonia is replaced by methyl group, and this type of amines we call as tertiary amines. Understanding, students? So what will be the name, students? So since there is 3 methyl, for 3 students we are going to use trimethyl and amine. Trimethyl amine. Okay, students, all are organic alkyl which is attached to, we call as trimethyl amine. Now what will be the IUPAC name? So here, students, you have to see, suppose this is the parent, students, so this is methenamine. Now here the 2 methyl is attached to this nitrogen, so we will write 2 type. This methyl is also attached to nitrogen of this amine. This methyl is also attached to the nitrogen of this amine. So we will write 2 times NN. They are attached to the nitrogen. NN. How many methyl? 2 methyl. So we write dimethyl. NN dimethyl methenamine. Trimethyl amine is nothing but NN dimethyl methenamine. So here, students, dimethyl containing 2 carbon, 1 methyl. So total 3 carbon containing molecule will be trimethylamine, that is called as NN dimethyl methenamine. Tertiary amines, students, nitrogen, when all the valency of this nitrogen is replaced by alkyl groups. First alkyl group here, it is methyl. It is attached to methyl. Now here it is attached to ethyl, C2H5. So in IB common system, students, how you are going to name? So here you have 2 methyl, students, and 1 ethyl. Okay, students, so E is coming first, so we will write this alkyl first. So ethyl will be coming first, ethyl, and there is a 2 methyl, so dimethyl amine. So will be the name of this molecule, students, ethyl dimethylamine. This is the structure, students, structure of this amine. What will be the IUPAC system, students, in IUPAC system? So you have to see, students, this is the longest chain containing 2 carbon. This ammonia, so we call as ethenamine. We call as what? Ethenamine. Now here, students, these 2 methyl is attached to nitrogen of this amine, so we will name 2 times N dimethyl. 2 methyl, so we write word dimethyl. dimethyl ethanamine will be the name of this molecule. So ethyl dimethylamine is nothing but NN dimethyl ethanamine. So dimethyl containing 2 carbon, here 2 carbon, 4 carbon containing molecule is shown NN dimethyl ethanamine. The nitrogen is there is shown, all the hydrogen of this is replaced by methyl, it is replaced by ethyl, and this valency of this nitrogen is replaced by propyl C3H7. Okay students, so what will be the name students? So students, you know this is methyl, which type of alkyl? Methyl. This is ethyl, and this is propyl. Okay students, so these three alkyls are attached to this nitrogen. So E is coming first, after then there is a M, then P is coming. So the name of this amine will be ethyl, methyl. Since it is normal type of propyl, so we will write N-propyl amine. So students, the name of compound will be ethyl, methyl, N-propyl amine. What will be the IUPAC name of this molecule students? Longest chain is containing this. This is the longest chain, so we call as propane. At carbon number 1 ammonia amines is attached, so we call as propane 1 amine will be the parent students. Now here ethyl and methyl is attached to this nitrogens, both are attached to this nitrogen, so we write 2 times NN nitrogen NN. See students, they are different groups. This is methyl, this is ethyl, so we'll write N ethyl instead of, since they are different, so you have to write N ethyl, N methyl, N ethyl, N methyl, propane 1 amine. Okay students, once again I am writing students, this is nothing but N ethyl. Since they are different, if they are similar, so we have to write 2 times NN, but here they are separately, they are attached. So N ethyl, N methyl, propane 1 amine will be the name of this molecule. So this is very important students. Fourth molecule students, this is the tertiary amine system, 3rd degree. All the valency of this amine now it is replaced by CH3, and here it is by benzene then. Okay students, so what will be the name of this molecule students? So here students, this is methyl, and this is what? Phenyl. Here 2 methyl is attached to this nitrogen. Since this methyl is attached to the nitrogen of this aniline, this is nothing but students, this is aniline, this will be your parent. So it is called as NN dimethyl aniline. Okay students, so this is aniline students. Both the hydrogen of this aniline is replaced by methyl group, so we call as NN dimethyl aniline. In IUPAC system students, it is also called as NN dimethyl benzenamine. NN dimethyl aniline is nothing but NN dimethyl benzenamine. Both are same students. In IUPAC system students, we call as benzenamine. This is the 3rd degree tertiary amines, when all the valency of this nitrogen is ammonia is replaced by ethyl C2H5, C2H5, C2H5. So in common name students, we call as triethylamine. There is a 3 ethyl, so we call as triethyl. In IUPAC system students, so it is here similar to ethyl is attached to the nitrogen, so we write NN diethyl, and here will be the parent will be ethanamine. So NN diethyl ethanamine, here diethyl containing 2 carbon. Okay students, 2 twice, di stands for what? Twice. 2 2s are 4 and 2 6 carbon. This molecule is containing 6 carbon. So NN diethyl ethanamine is nothing but triethyl amine. 3 into 2, that is 6 carbon here also students. So triethylamine is nothing NN diethyl ethanamine. These are very important for the examination point of view students. This means students you have to name the molecule in examination. If you like my video, please share it, subscribe it. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. God bless you.